Classic Truck Rescue. I got a whole bunch of comments and messages and things like that from people that said, Rick, I thought you should have cleaned the 1955 GMC Suburban Pickup up when you got it home so we could see what it looks like without all the green stuff on it. And the only thing I can really say to that is, you're right. I did put some tires on it that hold air, because right after I got it home and got it unloaded, it started sinking. And what I did is I put the same size tires that I want to run on it on the front, and the same type and the same size wheels. Those aren't the correct wheels. I do have correct wheels for it, but these are good tires. But these are good tires that hold air. And the back ones, I might run with those, but I can see it with all original style wheels, a little wider on the back, with white walls and original hubcaps. Let's get it cleaned up. Looks like we lost a little weight, little paint weight. Not bad though. And I'd rather have the flaky paint peel off of it than trap water. So that paint is 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 05, 15, 60. 5 years old. Wow, that is some old paint. Probably not the original paint though. Although that does look like the original primer right there. And it's fiberglass under the primer. Maybe it was a teal truck. Anyway. That's the factory primer. So I think it was turquoise. Which is cool, but I like it when they paint it white in between that spot there where the trim is, two-tone. And since I'm going to be keeping this, I've decided to sell my other one and keep this one. I'm going to do something that's going to make a lot of people mad, and I'm going to put the 57 chrome on the side. I've already got the corners for it. Not going to do anything, not going to chop it up, but I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to put stock wheels and hubcaps on the front with that size tires and white walls. And then I'm going to probably leave these wheels on the back. And I've got the correct size beauty rings and hubcaps and white walls on the back too, but just a wider, taller tire on the back, because I kind of like that little rake that it's got. Also, I'm going to try to, in the next installment, which won't be for a while because I got to get back to work on my building, but I do agree with everyone that said we should get her cleaned up. And one of the main reasons I wanted to clean it up is I've been losing a little sleep over this tailgate with that unobtainium GMC emblem that only goes on the Suburban pickups. I'm going to pull the tailgate off and lock it up somewhere inside, and it doesn't need to have a tailgate on it while it's sitting there. And that's good for now, though. I think it cleaned up pretty good. I know we lost some paint and it looks worse because it's showing its primer, but I'm happy with this truck. I really am. And I do like the tinted glass a lot. So, yeah, I lost a lot of paint off my Suburban yesterday, but it was kind of enlightening because I didn't find any huge surprises like blue fender or green cab or anything like that. What I do like is that the paint is consistent between the front of the truck and the back of the truck. That's encouraging. But I wanted to blow a couple of myths out of the water about these particular trucks. The first one being, it is not called a Suburban Carrier. Like the Chevy version's called a Cameo Carrier, but this is not a Suburban Carrier. It's a Suburban pickup. And a lot of people will argue about that because magazines for years and years have been calling these Suburban Carriers or town and country pickups or things like that. But I do have an extensive collection of dealer literature, and boy, the birds. Huh. There's a lot of them hanging out today. Anyway, I have an extensive collection of literature on these trucks, and they weren't called, and I'm guilty of it. I've called them Suburban Carriers before too, because I've seen them referred to that way in a lot of articles and things like that. But a friend of mine who is very knowledgeable about these trucks asked me to please quit calling them Suburban Carriers. So I actually went and did a little research, and he's right. It's a Suburban pickup. And a lot of people think, oh, Suburban, that's a big SUV for soccer moms or whatever. But this was made in 1955, and it was called a Suburban pickup because it has a fiberglass bed. It's not exactly what someone would use on the farm to haul bales of hay and old stumps and stuff like that around. It was meant for suburban people, such as the kind of people that live in suburbs, to drive into town and get their little home improvement stuff and take it back out to the suburbs. I'll show you what I'm talking about on that. But another myth is that I found an article where it said, I believe it was on Wikipedia, and there was an article that said the tail lights on these were used from leftover, because this is a 55 and it was the first year for this body style, that the tail lights were leftover 54 Chevy car tail lights. So just to prove that's not true, I'm just dumb enough, and I hope I don't get coronavirus, and that's not a joking matter, excuse me, that's not a joking matter, but I went and bought a set of reproduction 54 Chevy tail light assemblies, and as you can see, they don't fit there. Okay, here, I'll put them all the way in, so that's where they kind of fit on the bottom, and you can see the gap on the top, and you can also see where they're wider here, and I'll show you a picture of some legit ones on a truck just to prove it. So now I have a pair of really nice 54 Chevy
tail lights. So if you have a 54 Chevy and you need tail lights, give me a call. I got you covered. Another thing, gonna go ahead and pull the tailgate off and put that away for safekeeping. There was something else I wanted to tell you while I was oh yeah, and anyway, shout out to Steve McDonald. I've been knowing Steve a very long time. He's bought parts from me for I think like 10 years, and really knowledgeable about these trucks. Steve pointed something out to me. He said, Rick, I think you got a real one there, and one of the reasons I'm thinking that, and I'm going to show you how to fix that too, but well, I'm going to show you how to temporarily fix that, because this is a common problem on these. That bottom fender rusts out, and then it pokes out a little bit, and then somebody yanks the door open and dents the door. But what Steve was saying is, Rick, I noticed when you were filming the interior of that your truck has a backup light switch. So this bracket right here around the steering column holds that switch right there on there. And if you watch, I'm going to put the truck in reverse and see how it pushes down on that switch right there. That's the backup light switch. And the only 55 to 59 Chevy or GMC trucks that had backup lights were Cameos and Suburbans. They had the backup light built right into the tail lights, and I'll show you. I wish I had the tail lights on this to show you, but I will show you. And so that's another. Oh, also he said the wire will be black, Rick. If it's legit, the wires were black. So I went ahead and pulled this out. That went to the tail lights, and it's black. So that's encouraging. Another thing is, my GMC emblem is hollow on the back side. You can't see it, but I can. And you can kind of tell it's original just because it's pitted and everything. But Steve explained to me that if it was a reproduction, one of these emblems, it would be solid. And this one's hollow, which is one of the reasons I'm taking this tailgate off, locking it up inside somewhere today. So I just wanted to point out those couple of things. Rick and Annabella, Classic Truck Rescue. We got the 1955 GMC Suburban Pickup all cleaned up. Come on, you can come down here. Cleaned up, lost a little paint, but it needed to be cleaned up, have the moss taken off of it. And I wanted to share a couple little fun facts with you today about these trucks. And I also wanted to let you know that I'm going to be starting a new page on Facebook called 1955 to 59 Chevy and GMC Truck Historical Site. And what we're going to do there is we're going to start sharing information about 1955 to 59 Chevy and GMC trucks. I've got about 50 of them sitting out here. So I'm going to start out by explaining the differences between the year models and the different packages that they came with and stuff like that, because I can just walk around here and say, okay, we'll start with 1955, and we'll say, okay, this is a 55 GMC, and I'll show you the difference for each year on both Chevy and GMC trucks. I think it'll be kind of cool. Plus, some of us old guys have been talking, and we're a little concerned about how information's getting put out there that's not really accurate about these, and I'm guilty myself of thinking one thing about these trucks when it wasn't really the truth. And that's just because you read it so many times that you think it's the truth, but doing just a little bit of research proves that it's not the truth. So it's going to be a good site. I hope y'all go check it out. I'm going to start it out with a series on this truck. I've decided on this truck that eventually I'm going to do a complete restoration on it, but I thought I'd just kind of get it running and fix things up on it a little bit and use it for a CTR shop truck first. But I have work to do on customers' trucks before I get to that, and I have to get my building finished before we even think about it. But that's my future plans for this truck. Is first just to get it running and driving good. It's not decomposed so badly that it can't be put back on the road without a full restoration. I thought it'd be neat just to drive it around like it is, put some tail lights on it, put the missing bumper pieces on it, get the engine running, and just drive it like it is into town when I need parts and stuff like that. And wait till I get caught up on everything and then do a full restoration on it. And we're gonna put a Truck Inspector General sticker on it today, right? Also, just one final note while I put my Truck Inspector General sticker on this thing. A guy left a comment on the last video that I did on this truck, and he said, "You need to learn what kind of truck you have, dumbass." And normally I would just delete a comment like that and block whoever left it, because we don't talk like that in our videos, and we don't make our videos for children, but we're aware that children do watch our videos. And so we just, when we're filming, we just film as if there are children around us while we're filming. But anyway, I didn't delete his comment. Instead, I left it there, and I replied, "Pretty sure I know exactly what kind of truck I have, and I think you need to learn a few things that have nothing to do with trucks." And the only reason I left it there is because I was kind of hoping somebody else would weigh in on it and educate him a little bit, but I'll probably take it off. I wanted it to be on there long enough for him to read my response. But please don't leave F-bombs, S-bombs, A-bombs, any kind of bombs in the comment section, because if you do, I'll just delete it, and then I'll just block whoever wrote it from the channel. We don't talk like that in the video, so show a little respect, please. Thank you. Good girl! Boy, the birds are just going crazy today. Oh, that's better.